Hello everyone and welcome back to Roscale Sandbox. Now today I thought we would continue with this station up here because in our last episode we built this lovely level crossing here. And today I wanted to finish this whole area up here. However, first of all, I wanted to just come and fix something we did last episode. And that is these barriers. I am not happy with them. They're very American and we're building a very British railway. So I wanted to come in and build my own proper barrier across here. So first I'm going to add a couple of posts. We are going to need a wood barrier at the top and the bottom. Then we're going to need a couple vertical ones either side. And finally, I need some crossbars to go through these little squares here. Now, the very last thing we need to do is take a cylinder, place it right in the center of the gate, and color it red. Now, that is a really, really nice looking gate if ever I saw one. So now all I need to do is just copy this onto the other side. And there we go. We've got two level crossing gates that are looking a lot better than previous. This is looking so much more British. I'm very happy with this. All right, so we can finally turn our attention to the station over here. And I think first of all, we should get some platforms in. So I'm thinking a platform layout something like this. I think what will be really nice if we have a car park over here that leads onto this main road. And then this side, we have a nice sort of cafe, and this is where everyone can get off and go visit the castle. So that is my sort of plan. I feel like these platforms should just be the normal concrete. And then we should definitely add a stripe towards the edge of the platform just to show where it ends. There we go, and our platform layout is actually starting to look quite nice. Now, this side, I would love to add a sort of brick wall to stop people from getting out at this edge platform. And I'm going to leave a gap here, for this is where the station building and entrance is going to go. I also want to add some pillars along the way, just to add some texture to the wall. Now, we're definitely missing some buffers off the end of these rails. There we go. I think that should about do it. Now, I think we should also have a brick wall just on this side here. And this is also just to stop people falling off the edge of the platform. I feel like because this is still part of the station area, we should make the ground the more grey gravel. However, I want the color to be even darker than it already is. Now, I think it's time we add a building here, and this is going to be for the station cafe. Now, we're going to have this as a nice dark brick color, and then I'm going to use some wedges to finish off the top. Then I'm going to use some slate as the roof. Then I'm definitely going to add a chimney to this little building, but I want the color to be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to use some of these wedge pieces just to round off the corners. Then let's add a couple cylinders on top to look like the sort of smokestacks. And I'm just going to round the top of the chimney off with a nice slate roof. So far, this is looking really, really nice. Then let's add a couple of corner pieces just to add some texture. Then we can add the base for the door on the front and also the backs for a couple windows. Now let's start adding the frames for these windows. And let's also do it for the door as well. Now, I'm just going to change the color and material of this door because we want a nice wooden door and not a stone door. There we go. That looks really nice. And as a final touch, I've just put on a little handle. So now I want to add a fence around what would be the area for this station cafe. So I'm just going to start by adding a couple of pillars. Then we're going to add some smaller ones in between. And finally, I'm going to add a horizontal beam connecting them along the top. Let's add a little path leading from the gate to the door. And this means we now have an area that we can place a couple of outside seating benches in. So hopefully we should be able to find some adequate benches in here. There we go. I think something like this should work really nicely. Now we've got some benches laid out. I think it's time we added some tables. And I'm not really sure there's anything we can use in here. I mean, actually, maybe these plank piles could fit really nicely. Unfortunately, I can't change their color. But actually, I think something like that looks really nice. So I'm just going to copy all of these across. And now I want to see if I can try and add some sort of parasols onto these. Now, I don't think there's any way I can make the really sort of nice arched shape properly. So what I'm just going to have to do is make a big flat cylinder, and they might look a little bit weird. And if they do, I'll get rid of them. You know, they don't actually look too bad. I thought they'd look quite comical, but actually, I quite like them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything I've done over here and copy it onto the other side. Alright, so now we've got all of the benches and parasols in. This actually looks really, really cute. Now, there are a couple more things I want to do to this area. First of all, I want to add another one of the brick walls just on this area here, just so people don't, fall off the platform. Then just to add a bit of color into here, we definitely need to start adding a couple trees along the side. There we go. That looks quite nice. Then I'm just going to add some of these brown grass cylinders at the bottom to make it look like that these trees are like planted in planters and not just like growing on the concrete. I'm going to add a couple of these red trees buried in the ground either side of the entrance, as I think that will add a nice bit of color. And maybe a couple bushes here and there along the fence. I think it'd be really cool if we add a bit of grass coming through the gravel. I also think we should add a little bit of clutter around here, just to make it sort of look a little bit more used. And what I think would look really cool is a telegraph pole line leading to this house. I'm not too sure where I want this to go, but I think if I just sort of lead it across the mountains, it might just look quite nice. There we go. Why not something like that? And I will continue this on when I go and do all this off camera. So the final thing that I want to do today is just add some steps down from here and out along here so that from the station you can access the castle. And that is just going to consist of a couple of steps just like this. In fact, I don't think that looks too bad. Now, I just need to add a tiny little bit of a brick wall along there. Again, it's just so we don't have people falling off the platform. And then this is their access way to the castle, which gives them a sort of nice little walk round. And I'm really happy with this so far. I definitely feel as though we need a fence along here because people are going to be walking down here, so to stop them getting into the track area. But I don't want it to be as high as this massive brick wall. So I think I'm actually just going to use this short cobble wall that's within the build menu section. There we go, and using the increment tool and the rotation tool hand in hand, that wasn't actually too hard to construct. Now, I definitely feel like we should do something with this area along with add the car park and stuff, but that will be a job for next episode because we have done quite a lot today and it is time for me to go. So, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe and come back in 2 weeks' time when we're going to finish off this station. Goodbye.